No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.
Hello, and good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is Faith, and I'm hoping everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday and happy Cyber Monday. So, this morning we are going to be talking about consistency and how you are showing up. And if you're not showing up consistently, then this is a place for you right now. Go ahead and, if so inclined, to share this video, tag a friend, anybody that you know is in business, looking to build their brand momentum. And I have some really, really great news that I'm going to be sharing with you in a few about a free session that I'm going to be having. It's a free planning session that everybody gets to attend for free. So definitely go ahead and do that. Good morning, beautiful Jacqueline. How are you, my love? Yeah, let's definitely go ahead and share and tag, because you don't want to miss this session, and you definitely don't want to have any of your friends or colleagues miss it, because it's going to be one of the most important things that you get to do to set yourself up for 2022. So good morning. I don't know who this Facebook user is, but good morning to you, my love. So we're talking about consistency. And so when I say consistency, and in the context of your business or your brand, what do you think that means when you hear the word consistency? Just give me some thoughts. What comes up for you? What do you think that means? What's the energy that you feel behind consistency? I'd love to have a dialogue around that before we get in. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to get the link for the free session. So hopefully everybody will be able to download it from the comments. So give me 1 second. So let's talk about consistency. Let's see. It's that, and it's going to be at 1. Let me find that. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. This is definitely not to be missed, because literally what I'm doing is what I'm doing for myself is what I'm doing for you. Okay. So let me know if you see that link, and if you can actually click on it. I just want to make sure it's clickable from the comments. So if somebody could actually click on that and let me know. Okay, so while we're doing that, so Jacqueline says show up every day. Exactly. Let's see, showing up to a point that, where did that go? Showing up to a point that people know exactly when you're going to show up. Lisa, yes, absolutely. Consistently showing up to the point that people know exactly when you're going to show up, and also when you're consistent in what you do, that the people know what you're about. So that's one of the biggest challenges that I see, not only with people that I work with clients, just as I speak and go around the world, that this is the one thing that, because you yourself don't have a consistent point of view, because you haven't created a vision plan. So the first thing that comes along that looks like it might be interesting, you jump on it and say, yeah, that's me too. And there's no consistency in the mind of the consumer. So that's one of the really important things that you get to focus on, is so that the people know not only when you're going to show up, but they know what you're about. And why that's important is so that people can refer you easily, early, and often. If people don't know what you're about, if they don't know if you're still in business because they haven't seen you, whether on social media, they haven't seen you at a conference, they haven't seen any email newsletters, they haven't seen anything from you in a minute. So then how is it that we expect to build a tribe, a community of people who look to you for guidance because you have subject matter expertise and you have decided that you're going to show up and serve your people? Again, I use the analogy of, whether it's your local grocer or your supermarket. If they didn't have consistent hours that Monday to Friday, it's 8 to 9. Sundays, it's 8 to 4. Saturdays, it's, 8 to noon, whatever. If they didn't consistently have hours, or have hours that were consistent, then the minute you run off to the store to get some butter, they just decided they were going to close. Imagine what that would do. I mean, it would just be chaos in the streets. So let me know, guys, if you're able to click on that Zoom link for the 2022 planning session. As I said before, it's free. It's open to every single person. So there's going to be regular, and then there's going to be VIP. So I sent out an email, a couple emails actually. If you are on my list and you haven't seen it, look for it, where only those who actually purchase the branding bundle will get VIP to the session. So you're thinking, well, it's free. Why is there VIP? Because VIP are going to get special treatment. VIP are going to get special focus from me to actually help create your 2022 plan. Now, one thing, just as a quick note, the bundle ends today. The branding bundle is going to end today. Cyber Monday, midnight, it's done. And it's $19.97. And I'm getting ready to send an email out reminding everybody that it's over today. But here's one of the things that's really interesting to me, and this is what I'm going to actually put in this note, that it's basically 3 mini courses for $19.97. And there are a lot of people who have taken action, and there's still a lot of people who haven't. And one of the things that I'm going to encourage you guys to do in the planning session as well is really focus on your engaged people and your buyers. If somebody sees this bundle for $19.97 and decides they're not going to take action, that's a signal for me. So obviously, my platinum package is $50,000. I don't need to be selling a bundle for $19. I'm doing this as a way of sort of carving through who are the people who are active, engaged, ready to do work. Because one of the things I'm going to be talking about in the planning session is about energy leak, LEAK, energy leak. Let me type it in here so you know what I'm saying. Okay. We cannot afford to have our energy be leaking out. So what that means is when you show up and you're showing up consistently and you're creating good, valuable content that either people aren't engaging with, not responding to, or not taking action, that is a source of energy leaking from you because you're putting forth all of your energy into the good content, all of the ways that you're showing up. And it needs to be like a boomerang effect. So if you know anything about a boomerang, you toss it out, it comes back. So 2022, me, myself personally, here first, I am not participating in any energy leaks. If there are people on my list that are not active, not engaged. And I'm not saying everybody has to be a buyer, but you at least have to be a participant, meaning you're looking at the content, you've responded. Like when I sent out my Thanksgiving, I had one of my clients, who I haven't even spoken to in months, responded and said, "Thanks, Faith, happy Thanksgiving." That to me is somebody who's engaged with me. Somebody who took advantage of the workshops that I do, the Branding Over Brunch workshop. Those people are engaged. And again, hear what I'm saying to you. Even if you open the email but don't take action, you're still engaging with the content. People who are getting the content consistently and their emails are correct and they're not engaging will be removed from the list. And I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that is just a lot of your own energy leaking out. It's not coming back to you. Just think about if you were speaking on stage and you're giving, Jacqueline knows, Jacqueline did her TED Talk. When you're speaking and you are not getting any response from the audience, you're making a joke, they're not laughing, you're giving, really important points, that is not a good feel. That's your energy not coming back to you. So a lot of times you'll hear speakers say, I want audience participation because I feed off of the energy. That is the truth. Because you want to get feedback to know this is why sometimes you'll hear me say, is this landing? Is this landing with you? Meaning, is it resonating? Are you getting ahas? Are you saying, yeah, okay, just like me? So we'll talk more about that in the session, but I just want to give that heads up that this email is going to be coming out today, that if you're on my list and you're not engaged, you're not an action taker, the list will be scrubbed, because I am not participating in energy leaks. Because when you think about being an entrepreneur and you're just, putting everything that you have into the work that you do, and you have people who are basically taking the energy and not giving it back. I don't even care if it's hey, this is not for me. At least I know you're alive and you're doing something. It's not just like rocks. So that's one of the big things, because let me tell you, 2022, I have declared easy abundance. Easy abundance. Easy, fun, joyful abundance. And so when I say in my statement that I serve leaning forward female entrepreneurs and a few enlightened men, leaning forward is the operative word, meaning that my people who I love to work with are leaning forward. They're like, give me more. Okay, what about this? They don't have to be experts. They don't have to be super tech savvy. Those of you who worked with me, I am super patient when it comes to client and tech, because I understand that not everybody, has that natural bent for tech. But what I will not allow for and what I will not accept is just this kind of like, give up. I can't do that. That's not a leaning forward female entrepreneur and enlightened men that I want to serve. So just think about it for yourself. I remember once I was speaking with one of my mentors, and I said something to her about, like working, certain people maybe having, a point of view that, oh, she thinks she's so, bougie and she's this and what she said. And I was like, yeah. And then sometimes I just try to pull back so I don't, come off as too much for some people. And she looked at me and she said, yeah, you could do that, or you could just go find your tribe. And that has resonated with me, and that landed, and that stayed with me. So you would rather, listen to me, you would rather have 5 people, engaged people who consume your content and refer you, than 50. You would rather have 50 than 5,000 who are not engaging, who are not commenting on your post, who are not sharing your message. We do not participate in energy leaks. 2022, we are done with that. Because what I know to be true is that there's so many people, and this is why when I set up my speakwithfaith.com, I have a series of questions that people get to answer before they book time with me because I am not interested in wasting my time. There is no time for that, because then what that does is it pulls me away from people who really want to work with me. You guys hear what I'm saying? Remember, everyone's not going to be for you, and that's okay. The only person you need to care about who is with you and for you is God Almighty Himself. After that, everything else is gravy. So when you know that truth, then you don't get so wrought up in, oh, this person, didn't comment, or this person has never attended. Then guess what? You're in charge. You get to decide. You're the CEO of you. You get to say who stays on your list and who doesn't. You get to say who participates or who doesn't. If they choose not to, you can, the power is within your hand. So I digress, but let me know, guys, if that link is clickable, if you can actually register for that planning session, for those of you who are on with me live. And of course, for those of you who are catching the replay, the 2022 brand planning session is on December 5th at 1 p.m. Eastern. I just posted the link in the comments. Click and register, and then share the link with everyone that you know who is in business. This session would normally cost $497. It is my gift to you to set you up, and everybody who wants to be set up for 2022. So let's get on to consistency. So Jacqueline said it's showing up every day. That might be good for some people, and maybe some people aren't there yet for the everyday. So hear me. Your showing up could be every day or every week or every month. It just gets to be every. The operative word there is the every. So you decide. So for example, this show, Brand Momentum Morning Show and the Morning Crew know that we're here every what? We're here every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, every Monday. Of course, some exceptions given, but it's set. There's a time, just like if I were to say to you, what time does the 6 o'clock news come on? The 6 o'clock news comes on at 6 o'clock. So let's start thinking about this, because this is what we're going to work on in the session. If you're not doing something consistently right now, if you look through it just in your mind and audit your activities, if you're not doing anything consistently, my invitation to you and my help and my support to you will be to build something for you that you can show up consistently with the frequency that's going to work for you. So you get to stand in your truth. Jacqueline shows up every day. That's Jacqueline's truth, right? Somebody may say, you know what? I can't do everything every day, but I could do this one thing every week. Perfect. I'm going to meet you where you are. Obviously, the more that you show up, the more people remember you, you're top of mind with your people, but you can build up to that, right? It's just like with me, I started my, health journey and started walking. And now I walk for like 5.5 miles in the mornings or afternoons. Now what I've done, so I go around like, I don't know, at least 4 lakes in my neighborhood. And I would walk around each one once and then take the long walk back home. Now I've started to jog around the first 2 lakes and then walk the remainder and then walk the long walk back home. So do you see, I'm in progression. So if somebody were to say, okay, Faith, you said you want to get fit. Okay, we're going to go run 5 miles. And I hadn't been, running, let alone even walking 5 miles, that not only am I going to injure myself, I would absolutely hate it. So you're going to build up to the level where you get to that point where, yeah, people know your name, people know who you are. They're referring you early and often. They see you, you're providing valuable content. They're engaging with you. So start to decide now, think about it. We'll decide on December 5th. What is something that you can commit to with an every in front of it? I'm going to do a Facebook Live every blank Tuesday. I'm going to send an email to my my database every Friday. What is it for you? I'm going to write an article on my LinkedIn every Monday, every week, every month, first day of the month. My newsletter, like I've actually already had the team started working on our December newsletter. So that's already in progress and will be scheduled to go out on December 1st. What can you do? And again, I don't want the energy around it to feel heavy. So this is why I'm saying, breathe into it. And what is something that you'd be not only willing, but able to commit to in terms of showing up? And if it's content that's written, great. If it's video, even better. Video gets 66 times more engagement than content that's written or graphics, facts. So start thinking about that. And then as you're thinking about this showing up, I want you to ask yourself, well, what was going on with me? I want to do a quick audit. What has been going on? Why I haven't been consistent? So you want to check in. Is it because I'm challenged with this thing that I'm doing, right? Do I love the work, or am I trying to love the work? Because if you're feeling agita and stress around the work that you're doing, then that's something that we get to focus in on 2022. You can shift and move into something that's going to give you more joy. Remember what I talked to you about my word before? I said fun, easy, joyful abundance. The work that I do, I get to love it. I get to be excited about it. I get to have goosebumps and go, ooh, I can't wait to come up with this or that, right? So if that's not happening for you, then let's decide that 2022 becomes a year that you get into a line of work or an area of focus within your work that you absolutely love. So it doesn't mean that you're making a big career change. It could be, okay, you know what? I'm in wellness, but I actually really love working with women and their hormones. Like maybe that part of wellness really excites you. So then you get to lean into that part of it more so than doing the 10-minute Zoom workouts, making the stuff up, but you get the point. So you're still within your wheelhouse. You're still within the brand, overarching brand umbrella, but you're just focusing now on this particular area. And when we talk about in the planning session, using the law of compensation, it has to meet at least two of the three. Not only do you love it and you're good at it, but it's also serving a great need in the marketplace. So we're going to put what we're doing through that filter of the law of compensation. Is what you're currently doing right now filling a great need in the marketplace, meaning there is high consumer demand not just for you specifically, in general, the category? Is there a high demand for the work that you do? Because you could be in a section of the industry where the demand isn't as great. So we get to make sure that the demand is there. And at the same time, not only do you love it, but you do it well. You do it well. This is so important that we get to be truthful with ourselves. And if you get to have additional training, additional education, that you make that be a plan for 2022. I can't stress this part enough, that if you are not in excellence in the work that you do and the way that you deliver, this is part of the reason why maybe your business and your brand growth isn't where it is, because you've got to be able to deliver what? Transformational results. And maybe you get to learn a new skill, or let's just say if you're a hairstylist and you get to learn how to do balayage, or you get to learn how to do a different color treatment, or you get to focus now on color corrections. Assess for yourself within the industry that you're in, where else do I need to grow and learn and put a plan for your education in place for 2022. So whether that's, attending a conference, whether that's going to an industry event, whatever it might be, that'll be a part of that. So when you show up consistently, that's what's going to happen. People are going to notice you, then they're going to come to you. It's going to be really important that the results are transformational. But let's step back again. As I said, well, if you haven't been showing up consistently, why haven't you been showing up consistently? So again, maybe there's no joy. The joy meter is way down in what it is that you do. So two things you get to do. I'm just kind of giving a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be doing deeper in the planning session. I'm going to have you audit the clients that you served in 2021 in a way that goes beyond just, demographics. So we're going to be identifying one ideal client, like an actual person, not just theory. And we're going to go into what was it about that person? What was it about their behavior, the way that they communicated, the way that they engaged with you, whatever it is that you said this person was an ideal client. Then we're going to look to what is, if you have this, one person who was like absolutely not your ideal client, and identify the markers of behavior and ways of being that made that person not your ideal client. Because this is what we do. So we roll from year into year. Oh, Happy New Year. And we haven't done this work to say, okay, right, let's stop, recap, lessons learned. Who did we love serving? Who did we have the greatest joy? Who did we have just the most fun with? Whatever those core feelings are. And we're going to get into that a bit in terms of like, how do you want to feel when you're doing your work, which is so important. A lot of times people don't give consideration to that. Remember, again, I said to you, fun, easy, joy. Like I am so clear on how my work gets to feel. It doesn't matter if I'm doing a corporate brand strategy. It doesn't matter if I'm doing a workshop. It doesn't matter if I'm doing a platinum brand client. It gets to feel creative and fun and engaging and joyful, all of those things. The minute that's not there, I'm taking a note to self to say, okay, this is a marker of what I don't want to attract anymore in terms of a client, because that didn't feel fun for me. So it's really important that we get connected to the feelings as well. So we're going to identify ideal client, one actual person. We're going to go through all of the attributes that made that person, for your estimation, what made them your ideal client. We're going to go through a client that was not ideal, and we're going to identify why that person wasn't ideal so that in 2022, you know what to look for. You know what to look for and what to avoid, because as I like to say, not everybody with a credit card is your client. So we're going to go through the ideal client. So maybe it's that you love what you do, but you were just working with the wrong people. So we get to investigate, dissect, right? And hatch a new plan for, okay, so I don't need to change what I'm doing. I'm good at it and I love it. I've just been working with the wrong people this whole time. For example, if you take like Jacqueline's in, fitness, wellness, helping people really, like, especially women, 40s, 50s plus, reclaim their health and wellness. That takes a mindset of somebody that says, yes, I'm ready. That takes a mindset of somebody who's saying, tell me the truth, and I'm not going to feel so super sensitive if you say, that, you really do need to release at least another 10 pounds, because according to the BMI chart, your number should be here and your body fat percentage is this. That I'm not going to take offense. Like, oh, every time I talk to her, she's always telling me how fat I am. Well, did you hire her to help you reclaim your wellness? Yes. Then in that case, Jacqueline will be looking for people who are like, give it to me. I'm ready. I am so sick and tired of being, technically overweight, over, whatever the health markers are. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm yours. So you see what I'm saying? If I use Jacqueline as an example, it's not saying don't do that, but it's find the people who are like, yeah, I'm not going to take offense and think you're body shaming me when you tell me that I need to lose 25 pounds of fat. I'll be like, yep, you're absolutely right. And I'm ready for it. What do I need to do? So guys, let me know if that's landing for you. We're going to go into this in such greater detail, but this is what a little bit of what the planning session is going to do. It's the core basics, because sometimes we just want to focus on, okay, how do I get more leads and how do I do this and how do I create this thing on social, which is all well and good. But and Jacqueline will know this, in Jamaica, we have a tradition. New Year's rolls around, and in some other places they have other traditions. One of our traditions is you never let a new year come and your house is dirty. Like, you do a deep clean, scrub, wash, all of it, get your house ready to be entering into the new year. This is what we're going to be doing with your business. So we get to look through all the crevices, all the corners. What are things that are going on that need to be no more, clean, swept out, and make room for new things to come in? So I'm just super excited for this because I know it's going to serve so many people. So be sure you get registered, and again, share with your friends and your colleagues. Block the time. It's going to be 2 hours. Bring your paper, your journal, your all of it. Bring everything. And to start thinking about for you what you want your 2022 to feel like is also going to be super important. So we'll get to all of that in a second. So the consistency is important, my loves, because take it off of you. And I know for some clients, it's like, oh, I don't like the way I look on video and I don't want to show up for video. And I want to say again, the gifting that God has given you, anointed you with, is not for you, and it's not for you to play with. You are solely the messenger. You are solely the pathway, the delivery mechanism. Nobody cares what you're doing, how you look, the people don't care. The people are focused on solving life and business situations. And if God has seen fit to anoint you with the knowing, the way forward, the how, and you choose to not show up and not show up consistently because you don't feel like it, then my love, you are spiting God. You are basically telling God, you don't know what you're up to. I will decide when I deliver this message. It's analogous to the people at the post office saying, this come rain, come shine business, I'm not down with that. I'm only going to deliver mail when it's 72 and sunny. If not delivering mail or tampering with mail is a federal offense, what do you think tampering with God's anointing is? Somebody amen that. If the federal government sees fit to say it is a federal offense, if somebody is sending a message through the mail and you decide to interrupt that passage of whatever is in that envelope, that message is a federal offense. Fines and years in jail. What in the world do you think it is when somebody messes with God's message? It's the anointing on your life. And you get to realize it's not about you, and it's not for you to decide whether you give it or not. Period. I've told you the story before. When this show was created back in January, if I were to go back to my 2020 planning list, there was no morning show on there. And the morning I got the word, it was literally at 9 o'clock And God was like, go do a show and reach the people. You need to be reaching more people. Your gifting and your anointing is for you to reach more people. Go do a show. 9 o'clock, there was no show. I literally, and again, this is because of my gifting, I created the show and the show note, the music, all of it in less than 30 minutes. By 9:30, I was live. Good morning. Welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. Because there's one thing, if I am nothing, I am obedient to the word and to the push and the pokings from God. It wasn't planned. I didn't think about it. I was like, oh, well, what am I going to, it doesn't matter. Just like when God said to Moses, go deliver the people from Israel from Egypt. And Moses was like, well, I don't know. What am I going to say? Look, listen, I read my Bible every day. So I know, I'm like, God, do not let me be like the children of Israel. Let me hear the word once and just move with the quickness. And that's exactly what I did. And I don't even know how many hundreds of episodes we have now since January. It wasn't a plan, but it was definitely what I know God was calling me to do, because my gifting is of encouragement and inspiration. And that by me showing up in more places is what I was called to do. And this is what the show is. So it's really important that if you have this, I'm not saying everybody has this, but if you're saying, oh, I don't look good, I don't know what I'm going to say, my hair, let 2022 be the year that you're going to say, who cares? It's like, oh my God, look at her hair. Her curls are kind of like halfway done. Who cares? Right? What's our hashtag? Hashtag be unbothered. Somebody hashtag that. Be unbothered. Just be focused on the fact that you are God's messenger. He's given you a gift. And just like the US Post Office, it has to get to the person it's intended for. Even though I don't have any makeup on this morning, nevertheless, I'm going to show up and serve. Even though I don't even know what I'm going to talk about, nevertheless, God will give you the words and show up, because you don't know, you could show up and just say one thing for one person that's going to create a ripple effect in that person's life. We just don't know. God says, my ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts. So don't think, in our small brain, we have the plan all figured out. You don't know who he's using you to reach that day when you decide, I know I said I was going to go do a live, but I can't be bothered. I know I was going to write that email, but can't be bothered. Put yourself in service. Put yourself in service. Put yourself in service as if you were a doctor and somebody presented with some sort of trauma, broken leg, severed finger, whatever. And you're like, and you're the doctor on call that night. And you're like, I just don't feel like it right now. Right? It's so serious. Doctors take an oath. Do no harm. Serve all that's presented to you. So I want you to see yourself on the level equal to, as important as a doctor. This is literally the persona that I take on for my work. That when somebody presents to me and they need help with their brand, that I am a physician, I am an MD, I am a doctor, helping them get to the place that they need to get to, of vitality and vibrancy and visibility. I see it as that important. When you cast off, I'm not going to show up, you're basically telling yourself, ma'am, the thing you do is not that important anyway. So who cares if you show up? And so if you're telling yourself that, that's that energy you're giving to yourself. You're not acting like, oh no, I have to show up on Monday at 10, as I said, because people are waiting on me. And like literally, people are waiting on me. I remember, I think it was Lisa last week when I had my doctor's appointment and I thought I had canceled the show notification, and it canceled someplace and it didn't cancel others. So she literally messaged me. She was like, are you on? Jacqueline has done that several times to me, where it's like, oh, where are you? If I didn't catch it in time to say there's going to be no show. So that's what you want, that the people know you show up so consistently that when you don't show up at the appointed time, they're calling you, texting you word like, what's going on? That's what you want for your brand, because you're providing value. If I wasn't providing value, nobody would care. Nobody would miss me. Like, this is the point I'm trying to make to you. You want to get to that level with your business, with your brand, where people are like looking forward to hearing from you. They're looking forward to receiving your words, your knowledge, your inspiration, so that what you're furthering their business, you're furthering growth. That's the whole point of it, right? Give to the people that God has assigned to you exactly what God wants them to get. We, me, you, us, all together are God's hands and feet on the earth. And it's so important that you lock into this, what I'm saying, why consistency is the number one of the 10 C's of branding that I teach. Consistency is that number one C, because when you decide willy-nilly, you're taking away the gifting and the gifts that God's given you for his people. It's not about you. So this is what I want you to hear me to say. It's not about you. You're derelict in your duty. You're supposed to be showing up. And this is why I say, decide on what the every is. I forget where it is in scripture, where it says, rather not make a promise to God than to promise something and don't do it. That's serious. This is about being authentic to yourself and being in integrity and in alignment to your word. So this is why I'm not going to say to you, it needs to be every day. You're going to choose based on your realities, what's going on in your life, whether family, kids, school, whatever's going on, you're going to set for yourself. Again, everybody's different. What is your every? And again, we're going to start where you start, and then we can build up. So if it's just every month, it's a first, like in the Brand Accelerator program, we do the Q&A. It's a first Monday of every month. That's an every month. I'm just giving you an example. It could be a monthly thing, but the key is the every, that you're showing up with the frequency, with the consistency, so that your people can start to build trust in you. They come to rely on you. And then when that happens, what do? They feel good. They refer you to other people. They tell other people about you. So as I'm talking about this, who has an every that you want to share right now with me in the comments? Thinking about your business, thinking about what is something that you're doing every something. Let's see it. If you have something that you're doing whether it's every day, every week, every Tuesday, every Friday, every other Friday, who has an every going on in their business and their brand right now? Anybody has an every? Let me see it. Let's see. Nobody? Don't be shy. What is something, and it doesn't just have to be video. It could be, I send out a weekly newsletter. It could also be, I want to hear if you're doing a networking event. Like if you're attending a networking event every 2 weeks, you're a member of a group and you're showing up every something, that counts as well too, because that's you, whether it's Zoom or in person, that's you showing up somewhere doing something. So let's see. And if not, this is part of what we're going to do as well in the planning session, because you get to look and see, do I have any every? If you don't have any every in your business right now, that gets to change. And I'm giving you a broad, range. It could be every week you do a video, every week you do an email, every day you post a content. I don't care what it is. So it can go from a meme to a show and everything in between. But the really important thing is to check in with yourself now, search through, do I do anything anything? Does that make sense? So ask yourself this question, look into your business, look at your calendar if you need to remember, do I do anything every blank? Is there anything in your business that you do with any regularity, with any frequency, with any consistency? If you don't, that's okay, because we can't fix what we don't acknowledge. 2022, we get to change that. And it could be as simple as, I'm going to do a quote. Let's say you're a life coach and you work with individuals who have, issues with self-love. You could say, in 2022, for my brand, every Friday, I'm going to do a quote around self-love to encourage, people in that area. Right? So then what you're going to do, and this is what we'll work on, then you'll start creating your library of quotes that you can have. Because part of the challenge is when we don't batch produce the work, and we're going to be talking about that in the planning session as well. When we don't batch produce the work, what we find ourselves in, it's like we're waking up and it's like, oh my gosh, it's Monday. What am I going to do? Then now you're stressed out, you're anxiety ridden, and you can't create. No branding magic happens from that place. So we get a day of the week. What I do, oftentimes it's on the weekend. So like on a Sunday, and it's quiet. Nobody's looking for me. I'm home with my family, and I take an hour or two and I batch produce work. You're going to learn how to do the same thing, so that you have for January, right? For how many Fridays in January, you have the 4 or 5, however many it ends up being, quotes already picked up, ready to go. So then here's the other thing, scheduling your content so that you're not doing it by hand manually every single day. You're not doing it manually by hand to 3 or 4 different social media posts. You have it scheduled. So for those of you who have read Science of Getting Rich, and we study all things Science of Getting Rich with Tasha. And in the book, it talks about doing the work that you're doing, but doing it efficiently, like the certain way. The certain way to get to your riches is to do every work that you do. You're doing it in an efficient way. So if we were to take social media posting as for example, showing up on social media, I want you to ask yourself, am I showing up? Number one, you might say, yeah, I show up. And ask yourself, am I showing up in an efficient way? Meaning you do a post once and it goes to all of your platforms at once. That's efficient. You copying, pasting, downloading, then uploading to your Facebook and sharing it to your Instagram, and then uploading to Twitter, and then uploading to Pinterest, and then uploading it to your TikTok, that is not efficient. So while you may be showing up, Science of Getting Rich says, show up in an efficient way. So we're going to investigate all of it, because oftentimes there are things that you're doing that are the things that you should be doing, but the problem is you're not doing it in an efficient way. This is why I live for all things automation. I spend money on anything that's going to automate stuff in my business because that's doing it in the right way, in the certain way, in the efficient way. We'll get into all of that. But start thinking about for you, what could I do? So I just gave you something as simple as a quote. If you are in wellness, you could do, let's just say if you're going to do every 2 weeks, you could do something just on supplements. So for example, right, everybody knows, vitamins from A to Z. You could have a whole series on, vitamin A, what it does, why you should consume it, what are some of the things that it supports. Done. Let's say you're doing this every 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks, then you've got vitamin B complex, and then you break down all the different B from the 6 to the 12, boom. Then the next 2 weeks go by. Now here you come with vitamin C and your stuff. Do you understand how people would start to follow you and collect the information? Because here is a person who's not only meeting a great need in the marketplace, because everybody knows, even whether they do it or not, that supplementation is really important, that we need to supplement our bodies because our food sources are depleted. Period, done, end of story. And so if I know somebody's running a campaign that's going to break down all the vitamins from A to Z and indicate which ones are great for women in their 50s, hello, I'm following that person. I'm asking questions. I'm engaging. That's just one idea I've just dropped for somebody who's in wellness. You talk about, oh, I don't know what to post. There you go. Easy peasy. Easy, 1, 2, 3. So that's just a sampling of what we're going to be doing in the planning session. So consistency was the word for today. Consistency, consistency, consistency. We're going to strategize around it. We're going to make it make sense for you and for your business and for your time frame. And then you're going to stick to that come what may throughout the rest of the year. When we get into 2022, God willing, you're going to schedule those things out. There's already going to set. So you're never just rushing around, because again, that's another thing that comes from Science of Getting Rich. You can't be rushed and hurried. When you're hurrying about, that's not being in a certain way. Creativity comes from reflection and planning and setting yourself up for success, and then doing the things that you know you need to do, but you're doing them in an easy and relaxed way. So I hope this session really got everybody excited and jazzed and ready and committed to clear your schedule. It's Sunday, December 5th, 1 p.m. It is free and you get to be there. And again, for those of you who are on my list, the Black Friday bundle ends today, and only the people who actually purchase the bundle get VIP access to the planning session. Again, it's free, but for the people, and again, I'm rewarding action takers. So it's $19.97. It's a no-brainer, nothing to talk about. And as I said before at the top of the hour, I'm only doing this because I want to really suss out who are the engaged, leaning forward, active people. People who are, duds on my list will be removed. 2022, they won't be there because I'm not leaking my energy out anymore. We are securing the boat because 2022 is all about easy and relaxed, fun, free abundance. And that's non-negotiable for me. So if you're on my list, look for the email, get the bundle. When you buy the bundle, it's $19.97. You will get VIP access to the free planning session. And the free planning session means I'm literally going to be laser coaching with you using your specific example. So I just made up this whole thing about fitness and vitamin C. I'm going to be doing examples specifically for you. So you literally will walk away with strategies that you can start implementing. So if you want the Black Friday bundle, go look in your email. If you're not on my email, send me your email in the comments. I will send it to you, but it ends tonight at midnight and you don't want to miss that. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, amazing, momentum-filled Monday. And for the rest of the week, be blessed. I love you loads, loads, loads. And I look forward to seeing everybody in the sessions. Remember, share with your friend. Sharing is caring. And we'll talk soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
ever sees me, sees me. I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, sees me. I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, sees me. I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, save me? I'm losing every battle.